How is it going today? Loyal, good night. Wife.
My name's Jasmine.
We're Dwayne N Jazz, so we have finally.
Yes.
Wanda.
Oh wait, let's do it together.
Okay.
WandaVision.
Okay, that was cringe. I know, we know. But we have to do cringe because we haven't had Marvel content
For like a year.
for a year. Last year we got none.
Yeah.
None.
Not at all.
We want Black Widow, damn it.
We stayed up. Last night. Well, we always up anyway. But we stayed up waiting for WandaVision to come out.
Yes.
And because we're on Eastern time, like, I asked you before, too.
I thought it was 12 because you know what?
Is it coming out at 12 or 3 p.m.? 3 a.m.?
I thought it was 12 because of Mandalorian,
we
right?
had our food ready. We had our food ready and everything. It was 12 midnight. He's like, where's that? All of a sudden was trailer.
Look, Mandalorian came out at 12 midnight, straight up.
Yeah.
Mandalorian was great, by the way. But we'll talk about it another day.
Yeah,
Right now it's about Marvel content, WandaVision. Let's start off. First of all, they premiered episode 1 and 2.
Yes.
Stop getting Marvel, Disney.
What?
Do not give us no 30-minute episodes.
Oh, you want it longer? Yeah.
We want hour-long episodes.
I'd say if not an hour, like 45
5 minutes.
Like meet us midway. Like meet us midway to give us, cause like we.
And we ain't talking about the 45 minutes. We talking about 45 minutes of straight content. No credits at the end.
Not the credits being
another 10 minutes, 9 minutes, or 5 minutes. No.
But I will say the first 2 episodes were good to me.
They were good. They was based off like sitcoms, like
the first one was definitely off of I Love Lucy. The first one was definitely
all those. I Dream of Jeannie or Love Whatever that. My parents used to watch all that stuff, and
I didn't watch all the old timey shows. I only watched I Love Lucy, so that's why the first one I was like, oh, I get the references from this one.
Right.
But like the second one, I was like, okay, that must be like some other
show, because we're young. We're not.
Okay.
I know my parents would probably have a treat. They'll probably be like, "Oh my God, this nostalgia," and they just eating it up. But it is good though. It was good. This is their first time trying a sitcom.
It was so many references. Yeah, it was, and it was actually funny too.
It was funny.
It was actually funny.
Paul Bettany, aka Vision, was just great. I loved him. He did an amazing job. And Elizabeth Olsen, which I didn't know was sisters.
It didn't even click to me.
With the Olsen twins. I didn't even know. I didn't even think about that.
And then when I saw her name, I was like,
maybe.
I was like, wait, is she a sister?
Maybe she's like a distant cousin.
I was like, wait, okay, they kind of do look alike. But episode was great. Everything was black and white except for certain key things. Like when she
the mysteries.
When she picked the first episode, I don't think it had anything that wasn't black and white except for their little intermission commercial.
Which was very ominous. It seemed very cute, but it's ominous. They were talking about a toaster.
It was a toaster. It was a Stark toaster.
Stark Industries toaster.
And it had 2 people that were presenting it. And it was like back in the times where the commercials were really dedicated to the housewives.
Oh, yeah,
like to either cook or clean, to have like some appliance to make our life easier, basically. So like I thought that part was funny. And then it was showing them like, and the red button the toaster had a red button that was like blinking, and then it'll get faster and faster, like sounding like it's like almost like a bomb.
Like a bomb.
And I know that that's referencing the bomb that killed Scarlett's parents.
Yeah.
So that's one thing.
And then it had a repulsor sound with it too.
Yeah, the repulsor sounds were with it. So I thought that was really, really cool. And then in the second one for the second episode's intermission, they had the watch of Strucker.
And it
said Strucker, and then it had a Hydra logo on it.
I didn't even notice that first.
Yeah, because I saw it. We were in bed watching it, and I saw it. And then when it zoomed in closer, I saw the Hydra logo, and I was literally like that meme of Leonardo DiCaprio. I was like, "Oh!" I was like, "I see it." And then Dwayne was like, "What?" And I was like, "The logo."
I was like, "Oh."
Yeah, so that's referencing like the
Hydra giving them the powers.
The experiment, Strucker experimenting on them, which gave Wanda her powers. So I thought that was really, really cool. So it's a lot of references that are like little Easter eggs in the show if you pay attention to it. But I thought that it was funny in the beginning because when Wanda was like floating like the plates to help her like put stuff away, and then like Vision was like, "Oh, my wife with her flying saucers and stuff like that," and then she was like, "Oh, my husband with his indestructible head," and I was like,
remember Thanos kind of
ripped
that Mind Stone out.
He kind of
left him there.
Yeah, so I was just like, okay.
Yeah, I was like, dang, that's kind of dark.
I was like, that's a little dark joke.
Right, yeah.
Knowing that what we know happens to him, but.
And in the first episode, they have Mr. and Mrs. Hart, and they had like this date on this calendar, and they was just trying to figure out what date it is. It was like the 23rd. I forgot what month it was, but it was like the 23rd, and they had a heart over it. And they were just trying to figure out. They were like, I just can't seem to quite remember what date this is.
Yeah, because they said it's unusual. They're an unusual couple,
right?
So that they were like trying to guess.
And so they have her, and then so the whole time Vision's at work, and Mr. Hart, I guess he just started there. And Mr. Hart, back then they had to have like, the boss had to come to your house for what reason and meet your family for what reason.
I don't know.
I don't know why it was up with that. You don't have to come to my home. Work is work. But basically, it was like, oh, well, that might be what the date on the calendar is that I have. The Hart is Mr. Hart. Mr. and Mrs. Hart coming over for dinner instead of, and then Wanda is thinking like, this is like, their anniversary, and she has her friend Agnes, which is, Agnes is great.
Great.
She is freaking great. She's
so
freaking
hilarious.
Great. I understand why my parents enjoy those type of sitcoms.
But it was just kind of weird, like with like certain things that were colored, like especially the second episode. The second episode when she was like with the other housewives that were like trying to get in with the I forgot her name. But the one that was like the leader. The leader. I don't know her name.
Donnie,
but
like
yeah, she was the leader, and then she cut her hand on glass, and then the blood showed up red, but everything else was black and white. So I'm just like,
going back to the first episode, you can't forget what happened at that dinner table when she was like, they were having dinner, Mr. and Mrs. Hart were having dinner with them, and they was asking them a whole bunch of questions like, where are you guys from? When did you get married? These are just easy questions, He was like, what is it, damn it? And then he started choking on food. And then she was like choking on it, and then his wife, Mrs. Hart, Mr. Hart was choking on food, and Mrs. Hart was like, stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
But she was saying it as if like it was like a joke, like, oh, like
at
honey,
first,
like stop joking.
But he kept choking.
But, like, he was going for a long time, and she was going for a long time, repeating the same thing, and then that's when Wanda was like, okay, Vision
save him.
Yeah.
Yeah, then he used his powers and took the food out of the dude's throat and like saved him, but it got dark. All of a sudden they went to that multicam view, and it just was like some like zooming close-up shot to bring in that dark, ominous feeling. I was like, man, this is what we came for.
I just didn't know like what that meant, because it's like we're trying to figure out where Wanda is exactly, because he was asking like vital questions, like to kind of like that would kind of out a couple as being like a fake couple if you don't know the answers and stuff like that. So like when he started choking as he did that, I was wondering, did Wanda do that to like make him stop? Like in her mind, she was like, stop asking these questions. That's probably why the lady was like, stop it over and over. And then she finally was just like,
Vision,
okay, go get him.
Yeah.
Like
that was episode 1, and that was pretty dark.
So I was thinking, is that her making him choke? Maybe I don't know. But then the second episode where she found they heard the little noises hitting their window and everything, and then she found the red helicopter, and the helicopter had a sword logo on it.
After the first episode, they end, like, remember, they end credit, Mr. Hart and all them, they leave and be like, oh, you did an amazing job, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But you might get that promotion to Vision. At the end of the episode, they show, like, the credit scene, right? And then they zoom in. And what's crazy about it is the ratio that they're using. I forgot what ratio it is for, like, box TV sets.
I forgot the dimensions.
The dimensions.
It's like, basically, it's not 1080.
It's not 1080p. It's not even 4K. It's like
square,
box
like
square.
We see the 2 black bars.
Yeah, black bars on the side, and then it zooms out, and then it goes to a widescreen, flare or camera lens or whatever, and then it zooms out, and then you see somebody taking notes of like watching the show, like almost like breaking the fourth wall,
like
and
they
then
were watching
on the monitor,
WandaVision was doing.
Yeah,
and
WandaVision were doing, and then so you see like a sword logo as they're taking notes, so someone's taking notes of what's going on, and they're like watching it like we're watching it. So that's like, we're on the 5th wall or something like that.
And I don't know if that means that like the sword agents are like holding her there, or they're just monitoring what she's doing. Like, I don't know.
That goes back to episode 2 when you were like, she cut Donnie, the main, every cul-de-sac has like the main person, they're like a cheerleader or something, the main queen. And there was like,
and she cut herself.
Yeah, she cut herself because there was a radio. And the radio was like, Wanda, who's doing this to you through the radio? Yeah. And then that, it was almost like breaking their reality almost. And then that's when Donnie broke her hand on the glass, and there was the blood, and it was red. That was colored. And it was colored. Everything else in black and white now.
Yeah, and so it's making me think that everything that's colored is like the real things coming in to her little fantasy or whatever. And so that's why I'm like, okay, is the woman... Like, is she a part of the... Like, I don't know, because, like, when she cut her hand, it showed the red blood, right? And when it showed the red blood, like, she was just like, oh, I'm just gonna clean it up. Like it wasn't nothing, but, like, it was something. And so I'm thinking, like, okay, is she a part of... Like, is she a sword agent that knows that she's in Wanda's little thing and is just, like, playing along?
Well, we know that for sure. With Monica Rambeau, that was introduced in episode 2.
Because we know who she is.
Right, but when she got in there, she was like, I can't remember. And then she had to change her name. What was it? I don't know. It was like an old classic name, Claudette or something like that.
It was some weird.
It was, but we know it's Monica Rambeau. And she was like, she couldn't remember what she was there for. So she's kind of now trapped, I believe, in WandaVision's reality, especially at the end of episode 2. When they kept hearing noises, and so Vision went to like the men. They had like a men's meeting, women's meeting, and then the men's meeting, he was, it was pretty funny. Yeah, like I had a joke about gum and masturbation and all that, but he was like saying that there's like there's a lot of noises, and that's what made them scared in the beginning of that second episode. And then all of a sudden, at the end of the episode, we have that beekeeper with a sword logo coming out of the sewer.
Yeah, he came out the sewer, and then she saw that because, like, she became pregnant and like just out of nowhere, and we know that that's probably the twins that she's pregnant
because
with.
That whole episode they were like they did a talent show, and they was like doing magic and stuff like that, and it was like for the children, and there was a lot of other like stuff about like, I'm like, and because I was gonna tell you, like, when we record, I'm gonna tell you what I thought, and I'm like, they're like for the children, but guess what, Jazz?
What?
We didn't see one child yet.
We haven't.
Not one.
Right.
For the children, where are the children? So and then so when the beekeeper came up, it was like, she said no.
Yeah, well, that was like disrupting her like fantasy because like he came up and like it showed the sword thing, so it looked like he was like coming like from, I guess, the real world to her world, and then she's happy that she's pregnant and the Vision's there, and so since she's seeing this man coming, and I think she knows who this man is, right? Because she sees the sword logo, and she's just like no, and it just like rewinds it, like basically redoes it without him being there. So I'm like, okay, she's doing something to where like she does not. I think it's mostly like she doesn't want to accept the reality that Vision is not there. Like Vision's dead, and this is not like she hasn't. Yeah, her brother's dead. Her parents are dead. Like everybody's dead around her, and she doesn't have the family that she's trying to make. And because like these new people are coming in, she's like, no, get away. So like I don't know if she's in a facility or something. This making me think that she's in a sword facility. I mean, facility.
Fertility.
I think she's in a sword facility, maybe locked somewhere. Maybe. And she's like losing her mind almost, and maybe they're monitoring her from the little TV thing that they keep showing. Yeah. And they're probably trying to get her out of her state. I don't know, get her out of her state. Maybe. Of mind, maybe. Yeah, and she's just like no, and like creating her perfect reality.
What I think is she like went somewhere, maybe lost her mind, maybe had a mental breakdown, took over somebody's cul-de-sac. And now these people are, I'm dead serious.
You think they're being held hostage?
I think they're being held hostage by her. I think she went to like, let's say our neighborhood. She went to our neighborhood, had a mental breakdown, and was like, I want to have a family. I want to be, maybe she watched some old sitcoms, maybe when she was with her family, when she was younger, and wanted to maybe like, she loved that type of stuff and just made that reality our reality. And we're now just trapped in Wanda's vision. Woo! of her perfect life. And so now
it's a lot of theories.
I think the show, I give the show out the back a 9.
Oh, why not a 10?
So because it was, for me, it was too slow. 30-minute episodes, it was too slow for me. Not much had really happened. It just throwing a lot of Easter.
Too short, not slow.
Well, I mean, to me, too slow.
Was it slow pace?
So to me, slow pace.
Okay.
Get to it already. We want to know what's happening.
I mean, they're trying to give us a teaser.
I know, but I'm like,
listen.
I know, like, I understand, but I'm like, bro, I'm ready to see what's going on. We haven't had Marvel contact in a year.
You want all the episodes.
I wouldn't even be mad. Listen, hey,
that's what you want. You want all the episodes.
But then I ain't gonna have nothing to look forward to week by week.
Right.
But still, like, I'm just saying, I'm hungry for more content from Marvel. Because last year we didn't have it. Me and you, especially you, were hyped for Black Widow to finally come out, and they just kept pushing it back and back and back, and they pushed it back to this year, and I'm just like, bro, can you just release it on Disney Plus? But listen. There's just so many Easter eggs in there. The red helicopter that I think might be them trying to get in her reality, and then her some defensive mechanism turning that helicopter into a toy.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. And that's why it has the sword logo on it, because they try to flew inside of it.
The sounds were like she was probably, I don't know, maybe it was like
the helicopter sounds trying to fly in.
And then she was like making it go away basically by like making it smaller. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and there was a lot of references also about the devil in episode 2. They were like, you know, when Donnie was like, "There's the devil's in the details," and then Agnes was like, "That's not all."
That's not all the, like, she said something like, "That's not the only place that it's at," or wherever.
Right, that's not the only place he's at. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute now. I was like, wait a minute. It was so, but yeah, that was pretty much it. It wasn't enough for me. I wanted
it's
more.
Enough for me.
I wanted more.
I don't expect a whole bunch. I don't expect them to tell us everything.
No, don't tell us everything. But
2 episodes. It's okay for me. It's good.
Let us get
you want to see the
whole
whole
season. Give me 1 through 3. Episode 1 through 3, I would have been good because they would have had some, progression. But at the end of that episode, everything turned color around Wanda, and she was pregnant for the children.
But I think that's because it's like, in her mind, it's like she's like progressing. Well, from our vision too, it looks like she's progressing in like the style. Because but the first one was like, I Love Lucy style. I don't know which age that is, like 19.
No, I think the first episode was 1940s, 50s. Then it was like 1960s. And then
it looked like it went to like the 60s, 70s era. And so now it looks like we're into the 80s.
Might be getting the 70s, 80s, or 80s, 90s.
And that's when TV had like color. So I think that's why that had color.
So we're progressing. We're progressing through the different eras of TV for sure. We're gonna. I think we have 9 episodes. So we have 7 more episodes, and then I think we're gonna be going into Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Oh boy!
Can't wait for that.
So all right, guys, that was our review. Spoiler. I'm sorry. Spoiler alert.
I mean, it's too late. I'm putting it in the title anyway.
Yeah, you put it in the title anyway. But anyway, guys, comment below. Let us know what you think.
Don't forget to like,
subscribe,
share.